So hello guys, this is gonna be my newest video. So of course I have done multiple videos before, but this time I'm gonna get all of my money back and I'm definitely going to unlock lots of new technologies. Just because I can, I suppose. Anyway, so yep, I'm going to go and attempt to get as much science as possible. This is just gonna be like one of those missions. I also went to the mission control and I got a little contract for the LY-10 small landing gear so that if I get it to orbit, I get quite a bit of money and reputation. Now, that wasn't too much of a challenge as I at least know how to get to orbit now. I think I might be getting good at this game, huh? Anyway, so now, of course, once I'm actually at orbit, I can finally, just do some things. Now, this is about where I realized that if I want to, I can EVA and then I can get a lot of science. Now I'm just gonna wait until I can get it over the mountains. Good. Now I'm able to keep it, and now I can simply make a proper orbit. That's about where I turn the throttle down. Then you see I'm gonna go and do another report on the ice shelf and of course grasslands. So also living on the water. Unfortunately, my throat isn't feeling too good nowadays because I am a bit sick. Now, let's just wait, and I then do the southern myself. This one does take a little longer because I just suppose it does. However, it's still pretty interesting to actually look at it, on its own. And now, this time when I do it, I do eventually get the southern knife shelf, and then I can time warp again. And this time it's going to be to the desert. Now, this entire ordeal on its own has gotten me a ton of science because we have the highlands, we have the mountains, we have the grasslands, we have the northern ice shelf, southern ice shelf, desert, and water. That gives us seven different things on its own. Each one gives us eight science. That's 56 science already. But that's not just it, because there's more, much more. See, I did another thing, right? And that gave me another chunk of science, I think. Maybe not, but even then not on this time. However, yeah, I do still get a good amount of things. Of course, now the contract is done with the LY-10 landing gear. I think that was a really good contract. Yeah, fixed it. Now, let's do this. Another thing, these little lakes? Yeah. One time I was like gonna get a report about the surface sample, it gave me 12 science, but then something happened, so I couldn't, yeah, take it back up. Also, unfortunately, sometimes if you only recover the Kerbal on its own, it won't store your experiment. It's kind of like a 50-50 chance. Anyway, I've landed, took surface samples and a report, and now we can just recover our vessel. So now you can see just how much science we got. That brings up to 157 science. Now, between them, I decided to eventually choose electrics. 67 science for whatever you need. That's the quick save. Now, you have about 227 money. That like 227,000. Now, as you can see, I did, test these. And yeah, this is gonna be my basic, contract claimer. This gets me a ton of money and also quite a bit of science. But unfortunately, this time when I when I do land in the desert, I think I only use a Kerbal and it doesn't take all the science. Now, this is the really irritating part. I need to get the hammer thing and then test it like right about now. That makes it rocket up. Like pretty good, I suppose. Now I need to get to about 210. for meter 210 kilometers above. Then I'll be able to go and run the test on the Cheetah engine, on the suborbital trajectory. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to aim towards the desert so that I can definitely land in it. But unfortunately, it still doesn't do much. And also, another thing, to save money, I'm actually putting parachutes in these stages so that I can save money on, all of the landings and that. And I want to make as much money as possible so that I can eventually, hopefully in the next video, do a minimus landing. Yes, I recently watched one of Matt Lowey's Minos landing things, and he did it with less parts than me and less money than me. And I think it's because he had the maneuver things. All of my Kerbals are inexperienced. Anyway, so yeah, I eventually half landed it because I didn't really get all the signs and stuff. Now I am just making a little rocket, and I'm just gonna go and test how good this performs. Of course, it does pretty fine, but yeah, I do end up wanting to try and, add more delta V to it so that I can try and do the test. Now, as you can see, I am putting lots of parachutes to make sure I can recover the stage. Hey, it's basically becoming like SpaceX, huh? Anyway, so I'm just going to, fast forward a bit so that it doesn't take too long. Now, this is about where I try and run the test, but yeah, it doesn't really do too good because I overshoot it. Now, I definitely try and push it very, very hard. I do end up running the test and completing the contract. Now, I'm gonna make all the parachutes go pretty high. Now, I eventually did land it, got a bit of good sign, and yeah, that's basically that's nearly the end of the video. Then the other one is testing the flea engine, I believe. Yep. So this one is also a pretty interesting one because I also think that I accidentally killed myself this time because not this time but on my first attempt because I decided to activate the free engine even though it only said Hall. And yeah, now let's see how it does. This is going to be like the final launch, and because that's what the case, yeah, we're going to just cruise up, wait for the flea to get to its set height and speed, and then we're going to just skip to when the parachutes deploy for some reason. Anyway, this is going to be the second part in the series of me editing videos, and I couldn't have done it without my cousin brother's help. His name is Lucky Bear, and in general, he's a really, really, really nice guy. He had his own channel, but unfortunately, yeah, it was terminated for whatever reason. But yeah, if you enjoy this kind of content, please like and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. Bye.